Hey everybody, how's it going? Can you hear me? I started a live show the other day and no one could hear me, so I like to check now to make sure that people can hear me. Hey Fresno. Hey Brandy. No, Brady. Brady. Hey Brady. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear the words coming out of my mouth? So I know if I should continue or start over. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, good. And it sounds okay. It doesn't sound funny or anything. Sounds fine. All right, good. So I guess a few people want to talk about John McCain because there's 18 people in here in like 1 minute, which is odd because yesterday I was trying to talk about something, freedom, and there was nobody for like 20 minutes. Well, let's talk about John McCain. What is it that you think about Donald Trump talking about how he's no fan of John McCain's and he never will be? And because to me, this is just who Donald Trump is. He's like when he went after the people at the Broadway play Hamilton. When he goes after these little people, it seems like he's just this incredibly thin-skinned, incredibly petty person, which is fine. You know, I mean, it seems to appeal to a lot of people that he, you know, speaks out. But for me, I don't think that John McCain is a hero in any way. I don't see John McCain or his service as heroic. And the facts is that, you know, the mainstream media keeps talking about Donald Trump like, oh, look what he did to John McCain. He's violating the memory of John McCain, the service of a true American hero. And to me, John McCain, you know, he served in a war based on lies. He was in Vietnam. He was a fighter pilot. He served in a war that was based on lies. You look up the Gulf of Tonkin, which was what brought America, the United States, into the Vietnam War, and it was a complete false flag event. And anyone who studied history, which you would think someone who was a veteran of that war would know about the Gulf of Tonkin and that the war was completely based on lies. And then instead of John McCain sending more of our sons and daughters, of our brothers and sisters, of our mothers and fathers into harm's way. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Sending more of them. When he had the chance to stand up and say, no, I fought in a war based on lies, he said, get them there. Get those troops over. And it wasn't just get them there. It was okay, we stretched everything thin on the Afghanistan war. Now we need to get troops into Iraq, which is no threat to anyone, and we have to get troops there now, because if we don't, the whole world is going to speak out and make us stop from doing it. And John McCain helped send all of our brothers and sisters, all of our sons and daughters, all of our mothers and fathers back into a war based on lies for the sole purpose of making rich people more rich. Okay. And he was good with that. He never, I swear, John McCain never saw a war he didn't like. He loved the Libya war. He loved the Syria war. He went to Syria. Everybody's like, oh, Tulsi Gabbard went to Syria. John McCain went to Syria and met with ISIS and gave them pallets of $100 bills. You guys watched the Matt Ho video I posted a couple days ago? Matt Ho is an amazing guy, and it's a real insight into how war works. And if you didn't see that, you should type in Matt Ho, H-O-H, and that's a worthy interview to watch. But John McCain, we're talking about John McCain. You guys remember when he went and met with the rebels in Syria and took them pallets of $100 bills and so that they could buy weapons from that were being shipped into Libya because Barack Obama made Libya into this complete fucking Wild West where anything could happen. And today, in the streets of Libya, thanks to Barack Obama, women and children are being auctioned off into slavery, just like back in the 1700s. Into slavery because Barack Obama had to take out Gaddafi because Gaddafi is bad. It wasn't that Gaddafi was bad. It was that the Gaddafi gave up all of his weapons of mass destruction. So there's nothing preventing us from taking him out now. We all know this. It's why Kim Jong-un won't give up his nuclear weapons ever. Because he saw what the United States does to states who do that. You give up the ability to defend yourself, and the United States will squash you. And Kim knows this. So the last thing he's ever going to do is give up those weapons. And you guys know this too. So, you know, and we see John McCain and we see people. And what really bothers me about this is that the mainstream media, they're like, oh, you have to respect the service of a true American hero. And while John McCain was in the Hanoi Hilton, Donald Trump was at the doctor getting another note so that he didn't have to go to Vietnam. Which anyone, you know, who had the ability that was smart enough to get out of a war based on lies, another war based on lies where we killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people just to make rich people more rich. Okay, and John McCain never once spoke out against the Vietnam War, never once spoke out against the Iraq War. John McCain never saw a war he didn't like, and if it was not for him, if he had actually fought to keep our sons and daughters, our brothers and sisters, our soldiers, our troops, who we're supposed to honor so much and hold in such high regard, if he actually cared about them for 1 second, he would have stood up and said, I am not sending our brothers and sisters into harm's way to make rich people more rich based on lies. I don't care if the lies are coming from the Pentagon and the White House. Those people are evil. And I will not go along with their evil plan. Otherwise, if he had done something like that, John McCain would be a true American hero. And if you have anything to say about this, the telephone number is up on the title of the video, right? This is a call-in show. It's 805 Mox News. It's 805-669-6397. If you want to call and talk about it. If anybody else has something to say about John McCain. But in my own personal opinion, John McCain, you know, he hurt our soldiers much more. They keep talking about, oh, what he did for our veterans. What he did for our veterans was to damage them, was to make them broken. And he did it so that rich people could make money off of them becoming broken. And anybody who thinks that's what it takes to make a hero, I don't know. I want to see the war profiteers in prison, all of them. I want to know why it's so important to hold Donald Trump accountable about whether or not he paid off some hooker, not to say that he boned her. That's so important, but lying us into a war in Iraq, why don't we care about that? Why don't we investigate that? Why don't we want to press charges on that? And you know why? Because they're all in on it. The mainstream media, the Congress, the White House, and just a whole bunch of the top U.S. corporations. And so who's that leave to investigate, right? because Congress isn't going to investigate themselves. They know they can't investigate George Bush without being implicated to be culpable in the death of 1 million innocent Iraqis. Hillary Clinton, fucking all these cunts, all these people who voted again and again to not only go into the, not to stop George Bush, just let him do what he's going to do, but to support. Here's the money to make it happen, because they hold the purse strings. The Congress, they say, oh, we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let you declare an emergency and go build your wall on the border. The Congress holds the purse strings. So the Congress, all of them who voted again and again to keep these wars going by funding them, they're all culpable for 1 million innocent Iraqis' deaths. Just like John McCain, who I'm sure cheered every second of the way. And I'm also sure made lots of money off of those deaths. And it just makes me sick that the mainstream media, who again, they're in on it, so they're not going to investigate themselves. They're not going to go, oh, well, it's all Congress, because they could not have marched. George W. Bush could not have marched into Baghdad, could not have put our brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, mothers and fathers into harm's way without the help of the mainstream media. Fox, CNN, MSNBC, all the fucking same. All the fucking same. Just talking to different audiences. That's all there is to it. They're talking to people, oh, no, I'm a right-leaning guy. No, I'm a left-leaning guy. Fuck you. Those things are stupid. That's programming. They programmed you to believe that. That's just idiotic. You're a human being who's trying to get through a very complex Western civilization and being lied to about it every fucking step of the way. And when you say, oh, I'm a Democrat, or I'm a liberal, or I'm a conservative, so I vote for Republicans, you paint yourself into a corner where you have to support people who lie us into war and lie and say, oh, we have to spy on every single person's fucking text. Every text you send on your Facebook, on your cell phone, every picture your 15-year-old daughter takes with her cell phone, regardless if she sends it to anybody, the NSA scoops it up to be used at their discretion when they feel it's necessary. So And the Democrats and the Republicans walked hand in hand to making that okay. Yes, and the USS Liberty, absolutely. I don't know. I don't think John McCain ever said anything about the USS. What was that aircraft carrier fire that John McCain was on? That John McCain was basically blamed for by most of the people that were on the aircraft carrier, many of them who died. When John McCain was shot down and captured, I'm guaranteeing you, the people on the fucking aircraft carrier that he flew off of fucking cheered. If only inside, they fucking cheered because they knew that he was going to just put more of them in danger. So by getting captured, he actually saved U.S. lives, would be my bet. Too bad it didn't happen a lot earlier. He could have saved at least 100 more. John McCain was no hero. Donald Trump is right about that. And why aren't we investigating the bullshit? Why is it okay to war profiteer? Is it just going to be this way forever? And as long as you can make money off it legally, it's not going to stop. Okay? I don't know. I don't know how it can possibly be okay to make money off of innocent people being killed in Iraq, women and children being slaughtered in the most gruesome fashion possible. being terrorized day and night. 1 million plus dead Iraqis. And we don't need to investigate that at all. We all know it's based on lies. We all know it's complete bullshit, but we don't need to investigate that. That doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that Donald Trump paid off a hooker, not to say anything, that he banged her up the ass without a condom. And then she wrote a book about it. Oh, we gotta investigate this now. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, sorry.
Hello. Hello. That one hang up? Hang up. All right. So if you want to call, it's 805 Mox News. You know, it's what really is pushing my buttons on this is the mainstream media, just over the top blatantness about, oh, we can't disrespect John McCain's, you know, because we care so much about our troops and the people who give service. Not enough to investigate when we sent them over to, you know, a war based on lies. You know, not enough to you know, actually hold the people accountable who created the whole lie about we have to go to war in Iraq and we have to go right now. We have to go right fucking now. It's an emergency. You remember? I remember because it started on my birthday, 2003, March 19th, 2003. Shock and awe began. And I fucking cried and cried and cried. Because it was all based on lies. And nobody gives a shit. At least 4 million Iraqis displaced out of their homes. 1 million of them dead. Probably closer to 10 million Iraqis displaced from their homes. Would be my guess, at least. And no one's investigating that. No one. We gotta focus on Donald Trump banging hookers. That's what really matters. You all know it's true. If we don't find out if he stuck his fucking dick up her butt, this country is just gonna go to shit. That's what we have. That's what's important to our mainstream media. Who cares about our soldiers? They do. Oh, we can't disrespect John McCain. He's a true American hero. Donald Trump was off getting notes from his doctor when John McCain was sitting in the Hanoi Hilton. How many times have I heard that today? Okay, John McCain could have been a true American hero when he could have stepped up and kept our sons and daughters from being put into harm's way based on lies. And he knew it and he chose not to. Hello, caller.
John McCain was a beautiful man.
How is that?
An all-American war hero.
How is that?
He's G.I. Joe of our age.
I don't think so, man.
How dare you profane the name of John McCain?
John McCain never saw a war he didn't like. You like war?
John McCain was a peaceful man.
What?
He loved babies. I saw him kiss a baby.
I saw him eat a baby.
On the mouth. He was a beautiful man.
Yeah.
He loved Jesus Christ.
Do you love Jesus Christ?
He prayed every day.
Do you pray every day?
He always finished his peas and drank milk. He loved God.
Are you calling from the Bible Belt, caller?
I'm calling from Georgia.
Georgia. What's the temperature?
Georgia.
What's the weather like in Georgia today?
I don't know. I never leave the house. I'm too afraid.
Yeah,
of all the liberals out there, the liberal maniacs out there screaming and ranting and raving about the green thing and all that.
The green thing? You afraid of the green thing?
They're all just crazy kids screaming and they scare me. I don't believe in Jesus.
Well, you know, do you believe in cannabis? You believe in freedom?
Canada is
Cannabis.
a homosexual country.
Cannabis. Cannabis.
Oh, cannabis. Cannabis is an evil drug.
It says right at the beginning of the Bible, God gives all seed-bearing plants to man to use as meat. Right at the beginning of the Bible. I thought you were a religious person. I thought you were a Christian.
I can't read too good.
Yeah, might want to try again with that one.
I get all my information from the television set.
That is so sad. There's nothing on the TV but lies, man.
I'm an all-American man.
Right on.
You liberals.
Who are you calling a liberal?
You got that long hair and that big beard. You scare me, boy.
People tell me I look like Jesus.
You do kind of look like Jesus.
And that scares you, huh?
God.
That scares you, huh? You afraid of Jesus? Is that right?
You're imitating Jesus.
I'm imitating Jesus. Look at me. Look at me.
No. No.
What's your name, caller?
My name is Hot Retarded Chicks, boy.
Oh, Retarded Chicks. Nice to hear from you, bro.
Talk to you later.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Hello, caller.
Mr. News, how are you?
I am good. Who is this? This
is Brad.
Hey, Brad. Nice to hear from you.
Hey, good to hear from you too, man. So I just brewed a really strong pot of coffee and it gave me a big shit. And I'm sitting on the toilet right now talking to you, so hopefully you don't mind.
A man's got to do what a man's got to do. Do.
Yeah, definitely. Talking about shit, we're talking about John McCain, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's a strong one, huh?
John McCain?
What's your opinion on John McCain? What's your opinion? You think he's a war hero?
I've already shared my opinion with John McCain again and again. I think John McCain never saw a war that he didn't like. I think John McCain never saw a war that he didn't want to profiteer from. I think John McCain personally took money and handed it to ISIS in order to prolong the war and keep our sons and daughters, our brothers and sisters, our mothers and fathers in harm's way based on lies. And he helped every step of the way. John McCain is a horrible piece of shit of a human being, and the world is a better place without him. Got it, Megan? Oh, what's happening? Something's happening. Psychotic disorder. They're doing a story on the Reefer Madness. I got to get this. I love stories on the Reefer Madness, you know. Psychotic behavior, baby. It causes psychotic behavior. You all know it. Daily use of this extremely potent marijuana that they have these days. This marijuana they have these days, it's not like your father's marijuana. It's like crack cocaine. One puff of it and you're hooked. You can't get enough, and it just fucking turns you into reefer madness. Are we done here? You guys want to talk about John McCain? Hey, look at that.
Voicemail system. So you need to press 1 to take this call.
I pressed 1, bitch. Hello, caller.
Howdy.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I am good. Thanks for asking. Where are you calling from?
Yeah. Calling from California.
Right on. What's your name? What's your name?
My name is Jonathan.
Jonathan, are you enjoying the legalization of freedom in your state?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
It is not freedom. It is illegalization through regulation.
I agree completely. Regularization of a plant is bullshit. Yes.
I am a pot grower, and it is bullshit. I make all of my living off pot growing, and this recreational shit is a scam.
Are you a green thumb outlaw, or you are a legal grower?
Well, you say your phone is being tapped, so I'm not going to talk about that.
Well, too late now. Well, okay. What's your favorite strain? I'm getting ready to start a garden here in the next couple weeks. What's your favorite strain to grow?
You know, my favorite strain to grow, even though it doesn't really garner much money or praise nowadays, I really enjoy growing Blue Dream. It's a staple, and you know, people don't really appreciate it anymore. But me as a grower, I really enjoy growing it. It yields well. I love the flavor of it. I always love the smell. Very frosty, very nice light color green. Pats on the fucking weight. Although it's a little lanky, I get it, yeah. But it's a beautiful plant, and I always grow fucking 15-footers, so it's. I don't think I'm gonna grow it this year, but you know, just because the market kind of fell out on it.
Yeah, all my
You know,
neighbors are getting out of the business, man. They're like, it's just not.
up
They
in
can't.
Washington, right?
Yeah, they
In
can't make
Washington.
any money anymore off of it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, that sucks. Yeah, it's kind of going down in price, that's for sure. If you got some really exotic shit though, you can make it happen. You know,
Yeah.
like
No, I.
sherbet and gelato and all that fucking
Yeah,
bullshit.
fruity
You know?
pebbles, whatever.
Yep.
Um.
So what are you throwing in your garden this year?
I'm not sure. I think I have some. I'm starting everything from seed. I have a bunch of genetics from all around the world. I have some. I have some Bruce Banner crossed with orange cookies, which sounds really yummy.
Ooh,
And
that sounds yummy.
yeah, and I have some strawberry cough that I want to grow. I'm going to grow some outdoor plants. I'm going to grow some indoor plants. I'm going to grow some CBD stuff. I have some like high CBD, low THC stuff that I'm going to grow for the dogs out in the backyard. And then in the tent, I'm going to grow. I'm not sure. I have a couple different Bruce. I have a lot. I have like almost 50 different strains right now to choose from. So
damn, send me some seeds, brother.
I wish I could. One of these days, man. I want to send everybody cookies. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
You make cookies?
Not a bad fucking idea. Do I bake cookies?
Yeah, do you?
Or do no, not really.
No. I always think it's important to eat the weed. So
I can't eat it. You know, I get way too fucked up. I promise myself I'd never eat weed again because I just get really fucking stoned. And like, you know, last time I did it, I did some sort of fucking edible. I don't even remember what it was, but like it was probably 3 years ago. I was pacing around my house like a motherfucker. I was limping like John Mccain. Shit.
If you're not used to it, it can catch you off guard for sure.
Well, I mean, I'm used to it. I'm definitely used to it.
But if you're not used to eating it, if you're not used to eating it, it can really catch you off guard.
Yeah, eating it is a totally different ballgame. Like seriously, I can smoke fucking a pound a month.
Yeah,
I don't even fucking get high.
Yeah,
basically. But like eating even the smallest 40 little grams of or whatever the fuck milligrams, whatever the fuck they call it, you know, like I get fucking toasted, dude. It's like unbearable.
That's why I encourage people to eat it, because I think you get a lot more out of it, and you don't have to smoke as much. You know, you don't have to smoke a pound, and that's better for your lungs not to be smoking a pound of weed a month. You know,
right.
So,
hey, so now that we bonded on the 420 issue, can we talk about Donald Trump?
We can talk about Donald Trump.
I love Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump. He's
okay. Well, but why is that? Why is that?
Because he's done nothing wrong. He's been a fucking amazing thing for the world. Look at North Korea. Look at our fucking economy. Look at everything that's going on. He's fucking killing it, dude. And he's the most entertaining person ever.
Yeah, I've been covering Donald Trump for like 15 years on YouTube, right? And every political season, every presidential campaign, they'd always go to him and say, "Hey, are you going to run this time?" And he'd be like, "No, I'm not going to run." But because he's busy banging hookers and stuff. You can't do that after you're president. Which I think when he talks about giving up stuff, that's what I'm always thinking. He's giving up. He's not hit. Man, no more Playboy bunnies. Fuck. I could be banging Playboy bunnies right now. Instead, I got to be talking to the fucking fake news.
Of course. Well, you would be in the same position, wouldn't you? I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I wouldn't
be. If you were banging Playboy bunnies, you'd be fucking regretting that right now too, wouldn't you?
No. I would have. No? I would know. If I was getting as hard a time he was from the news, we would be regretting it. Because did you catch all the stuff I was saying about Iraq and nobody caring about investigating Iraq at all? You know, I mean,
no, I didn't catch that.
they don't, George Bush takes us into war in Iraq based on lies, you know, and they murder a million innocent Iraqi people, and a whole bunch of our sons and daughters and brothers and sisters are all broken because of it. And instead of investigating that, we got to spend our time investigating whether or not Donald Trump is banging fucking hookers. You know?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, huh?
It's beyond ridiculous. It's fucking sick. And you know, and then Trump says something about John McCain, and they're all, oh, while John McCain was off being a POW in the Hanoi Hilton, Donald Trump was at the doctor getting a note so he didn't have to go into Vietnam. Well, Vietnam was based on lies, just like fucking Iraq, and anybody with half a brain and the ability to do so went to their doctor and got the fuck out of going to that piece of shit war, man. So
thank you. That's, yeah, absolutely, that's absolutely true.
John McCain,
like saying to somebody like, how dare you go get a medical recommendation? We don't really have a fucking problem for marijuana, you know? Of course you're gonna get a fucking medical. Back in the days when it was just medical, of course you're gonna get a fucking script. You can grow your own. You can fucking smoke shit. Just avoid the fucking bullshit laws that the government puts in place, right? Same with the fucking Vietnam, obviously, states are higher and all that shit. But I mean, it's just the common fucking sense thing everyone's gonna do, right?
Yeah, I've encouraged so many people to get their medical because it just gives you added protection from the police state, you know. And when I went to get my medical, like the first time, the doctor, he said, you know, I look at a lot of people, and the main thing I have to decide is, are they better off with a cannabis script or without it? And I don't pretty much ever see anybody that's better off without it, because you're protected from the police, is what he was telling me, you know.
Well, all I'm trying to say is the logic is really the same, you know. Are you gonna submit to a fucked up law, or are you gonna take common sense measures to get yourself out of?
Well, yeah, not just that. Are you gonna go
created by the government?
Right? Are you gonna go to a war where people come back? If they come back completely broken, you know, and then no one respects them because they know the war is all based on lies, and no one wants to be in the war, and we're just wasting all our money on the war, and you know, so
isn't Trump? Isn't that a genius thing that Trump did? Got himself out of that?
No, that's not genius.
No federal taxes. Isn't it fucking genius that he gets out of all this shit?
No, I don't.
He's the fucking man that we all should be.
I think I don't like taxes. I don't like the government. I think that, you know, I just think that they're just taking, and it's never going to be enough. They're like, oh, we got to tax the rich people. They start with the rich people. Okay, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that taxes on the rich are unfair, because they are. But that's where they start, and then it comes down, because it's never enough. They're going to take more and more and more. That it's just got to stop. There has to be smaller government. There has to be less laws. There has to be more freedom. And that's the most important thing that we could do for people in the society, is to give them less criminalization of being a normal human being.
Isn't that what Trump is doing, though?
I don't see that that's what he's doing. I mean, he really? Says, no, I don't see that that's
really the only reason why we have so much taxes and debt is really the police state. I mean, the international police state that we've created, the Department of Defense, which
the empire, the world police.
Well, but I mean, it's the world police, but it allows all these socialist Western countries to be socialist and have universal medicine. We can't afford it because we're spending $800 billion a year protecting their assets. He's going out there to NATO saying, you guys got to fucking pay up. You guys got to take your share of this burden, because we're subsidizing you guys. You can have all these wonderful programs for your people, but we can't afford it because we're out busy fucking protecting your ass. Right?
Yes, but he doesn't. But he doesn't seem to think that they're wonderful programs so much, you know, for us.
Well, I don't think they're wonderful programs either. But they're not the end of the world either. There's probably better things that can be done than what Canada's do. Believe me, I'm Canadian. I'm from fucking British Columbia. I got all my mom's side of my family is up in British Columbia.
Right on. I love Canadians, man. I wish I had a dual passport. I would head for Canada in a heartbeat.
Well, yeah, I got the Ted Cruz situation. I got dual citizenship. But, you know, I can tell you, healthcare up there is abysmal.
Yeah.
My grandma fell and broke her hip, and she couldn't even get her diabetes medication in the hospital.
Well,
I mean, it's just totally abysmal.
Because they didn't have it, or why couldn't she get it in
the? Because they don't service people properly. It's like going to the DMV here. It's a bunch of malaise and bureaucratic nonsense, and they treat you like a number. They don't treat you like a human being, and they don't really give a fuck. And that's what happens when government takes shit over. If you're in the private sector, shit works out so much better. But I mean, we diluted the private sector here so much in healthcare. It's basically government run. Basically, you know, it's fucking corporations colluding with government to provide healthcare. So it's not really a free market.
Yeah, well, it seems like the insurance companies are what seems to screw it all up to me. Honestly, I mean, is it? Well, yeah. If we took, I mean, I don't understand why some insurance CEO needs to make $100 million a year or whatever, you know, because they what is it that he did to make the medical industry better? Nothing. He's just a fucking Ponzi scheme motherfucker. Yeah. So
yeah, and he lobbied Obama to give them Obamacare and give millions and millions of customers directly to the insurance companies without any competition.
I am no Obama fan, man. I wish I could be.
Well, I'm not. You know, I'm not so bad on Obama. I don't really give a fuck about Obama too much. I'm just saying Obamacare was totally abysmal. That was fucked up.
Well,
totally fucked up.
And the reason that I'm not an Obama fan, you know, to start with, is he said, I will fight for single payer health care. And then he went straight to the insurance companies and wrote a deal with them, which has nothing to do with single payer health care.
No, it has nothing to do with single payer health care.
And we all had to pay fucking more. And it just got more and more and more expensive. It just got more and more and more expensive for the average Joe.
Yeah.
It's
it's messed up.
And that was the deal that he cut with the insurance companies purposefully.
Obama's shit, dude, and he was just a continuation of George W. Really.
That's what I see too.
Yeah, and I mean, Trump is the first president, probably since Reagan, that's actually been a genuine president, not working for the corporate bullshit, not working for the government hierarchy. He's working for people, to tell you the truth. I mean, that's the way I see it. Seems really good, and he gets a lot of flack for no reason. For all this bullshit, John McCain and Kellyanne Conway's husband, he gets a bunch of bullshit from that. But I think he uses that as a tool, honestly. He's so good at hyperbole and changing the situation and entertaining people.
Yeah, that he's really good at that. He just owns the media, dude.
He owns them.
Yeah,
he's a total wizard at this shit.
He's like, the media are fucking looking to the camera and going, why is he saying these things about John McCain? How does it make any sense? Because you're his bitch. That's why it makes sense.
Absolutely. What do you think? What's your opinion on Trump in general? Is he better than Obama?
You know, I feel like something's happened to the war reporting. Okay, I keep hearing that Trump is doing twice as many drone strikes as Obama did in his 8 years' time, who did 10 times as many as Bush did, and that Trump is doing twice as many drone strikes in the first 3 years of his presidency, and we're not hearing about it at all, and that's very concerning to me because, you know, I don't like this shit that's going on in Yemen. You know, I didn't like it when fucking Obama was doing it, and I don't like it when Donald Trump's doing it. You know, I don't like war, man. I'm had enough fucking war.
Right. But isn't it better to send some drones in to kill a bunch of people than all of our infantry and armed soldiers and all that stuff?
I don't think so. I think that drones just make more fucking terrorists, dude. I'm pretty fucking sure of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty fucking sure of that.
Well, you gotta take out these fucking terrorists. I mean, you gotta have some pushback on this bullshit.
You don't do it by bombing people. I'm telling you, it's never. It has never worked. Okay, let's take Afghanistan. Okay, if in Afghanistan when we fucking moseyed on in there in 2001, 2002, we said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to begin road projects, and every fucking house on the block is going to get cable television, Western cable television. In a fucking year, they'll be speaking English, and they'll be loving fucking Laverne and Shirley and Happy Days and want that fucking life for themselves. That's how you do it.
How that work? Then does that work? You think that's what's doing it?
That will work. That will work. If you give them the ability to travel, okay, you know, I mean, you make infrastructure so that they can go where they need to go in this fucking, you know, third world shithole. You know, and you fucking give them cable TV and malls and fucking shit like that. All they're gonna want is to shop and watch TV, just like Western civilization.
Wow. So you would say subsidizing terrorists is the best way to get rid of terrorism? They're
already subsidizing terrorists. There'd be no terrorists if it wasn't for the Pentagon. Fucking Pentagon pays the Taliban millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, dude. You know this, right?
No, I don't know that.
Okay, well, the Pentagon pays Taliban. Go type it into Google. You'll find out that they're paying them hundreds of millions of dollars.
To this day?
Yes.
Right now, under Trump's presidency, they're paying them hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, at least up until the beginning of it. I don't know what they're doing now in Afghanistan. Like I said, the military reporting has seemed to stop since Trump took office. Maybe it's just because we're too busy reporting on him banging fucking hookers, but it's stopped. You know, it's like we don't want to cover anything about the military anymore, anything about the wars, because people are tired of the wars. Every time we cover a war story, people are like, these damn wars got to end now. And the last thing the media wants is the wars to end. The last thing the Congress wants is the wars to end. The last thing the Pentagon wants is the wars to end. It's like end the drug war and you end 80% of crime, in my opinion. And you know what that does? That puts all these fucking cops out of business. So all these cops who talk about how they want to live in a crime-free society, no, they don't, because they'll be out of a fucking job. Not for a heartbeat do they want that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's for sure. You know what the fucking cops are doing nowadays? Because of all this legalization of marijuana and stuff like that, their big tactic is civil asset forfeiture.
I fucking hate that, dude.
Uptick in that.
I fucking hate that. That's just disgusting bullshit. That's highway robbery. End of story. Highway robbery. There's fucking bandits on the highway pulling you over and taking whatever you have and saying, fuck off.
Yeah. Some fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Real bullshit. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know so much about all these drone strikes and everything like that. You know, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna look into that because I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah.
My general impression of Trump and foreign policy is that he is rolling back our presence in the Middle East, and he's rolling back troops, and he's actually bringing us back to a more sane approach to this. Seemingly.
I agree with you. That is very much what it sounds like. But I hear other things too. And like I said, the military reporting doesn't seem to be the same as it was before Trump. So it's kind of weird. But anyway,
maybe there's just not as much to report on. Maybe he's just kind of chilled out a little bit.
That's not true. I know that's not true. No. But thanks very much for calling, man. What's your name again?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, it's good to hear from you, bro. You've been a long time Mox News viewer?
You know, I have actually. Shit, how long have I been watching Mox News? Damn, I think I was watching Mox News in like 2008. If you were around 2007, 2008.
Yeah, I was around.
You from all the way back then. Dude.
Yeah, right on. Well, it's good.
You had different channels. I remember you had different channels. You had to switch over to different channels and stuff like that. Yeah. I remember all that shit.
It's been a big fight.
The fucking poster in the background. I remember all that shit, dude.
Yeah. Right on. Well, it's good to hear from you, Jonathan.
All right, brother.
Thanks for calling. Okay, so and this is, you know, I'm not here to tear down Trump. I'm no fan of him, and I hope that he is doing a good job in the economy. We had a call-in show a couple days ago where I asked you guys if you were feeling the booming economy in your wallets, and nobody that I talked to seemed to feel that way. Well, my first caller, who has a kite who has a kite shop in Long Beach, Washington. Um, he said he was feeling it. Hello, caller.
Hey, how you doing, bud?
I am good. How are you doing?
Good. Care to explain why you deleted your last live stream video?
Yeah, it was not. I was not happy with a couple of things that happened in that, and I didn't want to be judged by me letting control of my own live show, you know, out of my own control. So you know, thanks for calling. You know, I was frustrated with, I walked away when I shouldn't have walked away there for a minute yesterday, and things got out of my control, and I didn't want to I didn't like the direction that the conversation went when I wasn't in front of the camera. So I made that private, so you know. So any other questions? Anyways, I want to do these live shows so we can connect, so that we can talk. I think we have a lot to talk about. I think the more that we talk to each other, yeah, I'm no Trump fan. That guy is a Trump fan, but we have much more in common than we have that separates us. You know, we are brothers and sisters. We are one. We're not the same, but we get to carry each other. You know, we have to be there for each other. Otherwise, we're divided into these little groups, and he's one of those. And that's why, you know, I keep saying, you know, this is liberal. If you buy into this, you need to stop drinking the Kool-Aid. You know, I mean, it's fine if you want to view yourself as a modern guy who's open-minded and whatever, but don't paint yourself into this corner where I'm a liberal, so I have to vote with the Democrats. The Democrats are horrible pieces of shit who are looking into the camera and saying Tulsi Gabbard, a current major in the Army Reserves, is not a real Democrat. Basically saying she's not a real American. Fuck those people. What's up, caller?
Hello?
Hello.
John McCain is a disgrace. He's not a war hero. He's a fraud.
What's your name?
Jim.
Hey, Jim. Nice to hear from you.
Okay.
Have you followed John McCain's career for a while?
Yes, he's the biggest snake oil salesman you can find. That I can tell you.
Yeah, I never liked John McCain. I never thought he never once seemed like a decent human being to me. He kept, you know, cannabis illegal. He fought every step of the way for cannabis being legalized. He got up there and said there's no evidence of medical, you know, he's just a horrible, anything that could help people, he was no. We got to keep people in slavery. We got to keep our brothers and sisters over in wars of choice based on lies. Are you a veteran?
No, I'm not. And all of a sudden, you can't insult a person who's deceased. I've never heard of such bullshit in my entire life. If the dude was a piece of shit when he was alive, he's a piece of shit when he's dead. Simple and plain.
Never saw a war he didn't like, man. Didn't want a war profiteer off of, in my opinion.
Well, he wanted the war in Iraq. He wanted every other war.
Yep.
And he went to Vietnam based on a lie.
Yeah. Even after he went through all of that himself, everything that he had to go through, he didn't hesitate to put our brothers and sisters, our mothers and fathers, our sons and daughters into that same horrible situation for no reason except for to make rich people even more rich.
So what really seems to me then is he really didn't get captured. It was probably a ploy, you know, from the government to basically fake saying he was captured to have other people join or
poster boy.
Yeah. And let me tell you, he's the worst cowardly, not a war hero. And I've talked to many veterans that agree.
Yeah.
The guy's a disgrace.
Yeah.
And he's good riddance.
Yeah. Right on. Thanks for calling, man.
Hey, have a good one, bud.
All right. And that's the fact. That's the way I see it. That's the way I think most veterans see it. I think that's the way probably the vast majority of veterans who served on the same fucking outfit of John McCain see it too. Horrible piece of shit. Could have done something good for people. Could have stood up and kept our sons and daughters being used as pawns in a bullshit scheme by George W. Bush and Dick Cheney to just fucking go and destroy the Middle East, to go and light it on fire. So that them and their war profiteer buddies would be able to profit for generations to come off of the blood spilled by our brothers and sisters, our sons and daughters, our mothers and fathers. That's the kind of scum John McCain is. And I don't know if Donald Trump should be calling him out for it or not. I wish that he did it like this. I wish that he would say, John McCain never saw a war he didn't like. John McCain fought in a war based on lies. John McCain could have stood up and stopped our troops from being sent back into a war in lies, and instead he held hands and helped it happen every step of the way and beat the drums of war as loud as he possibly could, not just for the war in Iraq, but for a war in Iran. That guy wanted a war in Iran more than anybody else. Does anybody know why we should be going to war in Iran? Can anybody tell me why right now we got to go to war in Iran? John McCain has been banging that drum for 10 years at least. That's the kind of piece of shit your father was, Megan. And you know it, and we know it, and whatever bullshit chemically induced fucking days you're in. That's the fucking truth, Megan. This is a call-in show, by the way. My name is Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Thanks very much for tuning in. I hope you find something of value on this channel. There are over 9,100 videos on this singular Mox News channel. As you heard, the last caller, he's been watching since 2006? 2008, something like that. Mox News has been around quite a while, and I have worked very hard to keep up the good fight, to bring attention to who the real enemy is. The real enemy is the guy who says that he's protecting our Constitution and then goes and drops off pallets of $100 bills to ISIS. That's who your daddy is, Megan. By the way, this is a call-in show. The telephone number is 805 Mox News. It's 805-669-6397. 805-669-6397. We'll try to go too fast and I get the numbers all jumbled. So, and anyways, I'm just really flustered by the mainstream media and them talking about how, how horrible Donald Trump is because he got out of this awful war, the Vietnam War. He got a doctor's note that said he can't go. He got out of this horrible, horrible war that anybody who could got out of. People were saying, I'm a homosexual, I'm an IV drug user, I just want to go and kill women and children. Anything they could say to get out of it. They were doing their best to get out of it. Donald Trump, he had the green light. All he had to do was get a doctor's note. He was one of the lucky ones. Okay? But John McCain knows that the Vietnam War was based on lies. Anybody who understands history knows that. The Gulf of Tonkin, you don't know it, go look up the Gulf of Tonkin false flag incident, and that will tell you that the war in Vietnam. America moved its troops into Vietnam based on the war, the Gulf of Tonkin incident, which was completely fabricated. So we moved our troops in based on lies. John McCain knew this. John McCain never once spoke out about that. John McCain, and when he had his chance not to let other generations be sucked into that same horrible trap, said, no, you go there, soldier. You go there. You go to the war zone. Yeah, we don't have enough bulletproof armor for everybody right now, but you guys can share, right? That's what kind of piece of shit John McCain is. He did everything in his power to help George W. Bush rush our soldiers into Iraq based on lies without even proper body armor. Megan, that's the kind of piece of shit your dad was. And you know it. So I don't mind Donald Trump talking smack about John McCain. I wish he'd talk more. I wish he'd explain why John McCain wasn't a hero, why that's what he believes. And I wish he'd explain it exactly the way I just did. Because when he had his chance to keep it from happening to a new generation, he helped make it happen to them. He helped send all these good people who were brave enough to step up and say, I want to protect our country. I want to serve our country. People like Tulsi Gabbard, who stood up and said, I want to be there as a medic in Iraq at the height of combat. I want to be there to help my brothers and sisters in need. That's a real fucking hero, John. Megan. Tulsi Gabbard. And you know what? And you know how Megan treated Tulsi Gabbard? She said, you know what? When I hear the word Tulsi Gabbard, you know what I think? I think President Assad's best friend. Fuck you. You're a horrible piece of shit, Meghan McCain, just like your dad. Okay? Tulsi Gabbard is the real deal. Okay? She is a true American hero who volunteered at the height of combat to go to Iraq as a medic, which means she's up to her fucking tits in blood and guts 24/7, trying to save whoever she can. You know what medics do? They go there and they don't wear a gun. They don't walk around with guns so that they can help somebody without, saying, I'm a medic. I'm not armed. I just want to help this person and not get fucking shot at. And maybe they'll be able to help that person. That's who Tulsi Gabbard is. Without a gun at the height of combat. Tits deep in blood and guts. Okay? Blood and guts that John McCain could have stopped from happening. If he had just said, no, I've been through this before. My generation went through this. I'm not going to allow further generations to be sucked into a war of choice based on lies just to make rich motherfuckers more rich. And he chose the opposite path. He sold all our sons and daughters, all our brothers and sisters. He used up trillions of dollars of our treasure that we could have spent on anything better than war. Anything's better than war. Trillions of dollars. And Donald Trump bragging, oh, we're spending more money than ever. Yeah, no, I don't like Donald Trump. But I don't like John McCain either. And I'm glad. I mean, I'm not really glad that Donald Trump is speaking out because I think it makes the president look petty. Unless, of course, he explains himself. If he explains himself and says, what I'm saying, that John McCain could have prevented putting soldiers in harm's way and chose not to. Pretty much solely so that he could make himself more rich. It's disgusting. And the mainstream media wants to spend all this time investigating Donald Trump when all these lies happened that killed 1 million innocent Iraqis. And we got to investigate if Donald Trump banged this hooker or Donald Trump banged that hooker, how much he paid that hooker to be banged. You know, we got to constantly investigate Donald Trump, but this war where, you know, it killed 1 million innocent people based entirely on lies, 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 lies. We can't investigate that. We can't even talk about that that's based on lies. When have you ever seen anyone have a discussion about it being based on lies? We all know the Iraq war is based on lies. No one talks about it. There's no discussion. Lies fabricated in the Pentagon. Lies fabricated in the White House. Those people are war criminals that must go to prison to make the world a safer place for little children. 1 million dead, innocent Iraqis. That's who John McCain is. No one's ever going to be held accountable unless you all start speaking out. Unless we all get someone like Tulsi Gabbard in the White House who wants to bring our troops home, who wants to, she said we have to hold the people in both parties accountable who can't get enough of these endless wars. We have to hold them accountable. These are Tulsi Gabbard's words, both parties. She's not saying the damn Republicans. She's not saying the Democrats. Both parties. What I keep saying is the Republicans and the Democrats working together, hand in hand, that have brought us to this place where we're at now. They all have to be held accountable. They're the ones who have green-lighted and funding the NSA spying on every single American. Every single one of your cell phones is tapped. Every single text message you send is gathered up by the NSA and probably the CIA, because they like to do their own shit too. And it's all because of the people in Congress who not only have approved it, they have funded it year after year after year after year. They are the enemy of your freedom. They are the ones that must be held accountable. They must go to prison. That's the only way we get the wars to stop. We start to hold these people accountable. That's the only way we keep it from happening again. We hold these people accountable. We say, no, you're full of shit. Prison. All your assets seized. Fuck you and your daughter, Liz Cheney, can live in poverty and disgust. And because Liz Cheney's another one of those pieces of shit like Mccain. Keeps talking about our soldiers. Your piece of shit father lied our fucking soldiers into war, you fucking skag. You war profiteering piece of scum. You belong in prison. You belong. Liz Cheney, you, your father, belong in prison. And if we don't hold these people accountable, it's never gonna stop. They're just gonna keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. That's the reason Obama has to go to prison too. Because he is just as responsible. He could have made it stop. He was commander-in-chief. He knew it was based on lies. He didn't stop it. He just moved it into Syria, moved it into Libya. He must go to prison. Otherwise, it will never end. If we don't hold them accountable, it never ends. It's like with the cops. When the cops go and bust somebody's door down and shoot some innocent person, unarmed person, sleeping in their bed 17 times, and the guy's wife gets a $4 million settlement. She has to sign an agreement that says that the police did nothing wrong. Okay? And that means nothing has to change. They can go and kick down the next guy's fucking door and murder him in his bed, and they did nothing wrong. Just like the last time when they did nothing wrong. Just like when George Bush did nothing wrong. Just like when Barack Obama did nothing wrong. They must be held accountable, or it never ends. I want it to end. Every fucking video I make, I say, one of these days this war is going to end. The only way it happens is with accountability. For people like John McCain, Barack Obama, George Bush, Dick Cheney, Lynn Cheney. Fuck those people. They belong in prison now in order to make the world a safer place for little children, and we all know that's the truth. All right. Was I rambling? Did I get loud? I didn't mean to get loud. I get loud sometimes. Anyways, I got a Reefer Madness story to do. Anybody want to call before I go do my Reefer Madness story? It's 805 Mox News, 805-669-6397. Mox News survives solely on contributions from good people like yourself. I never put an ad at the beginning of the videos. I never take 15 seconds out of your life, 15 seconds out of your life, 15 seconds out of your life. I never do that. The only time I ever make any money at all is when you decide that my work is of value. I ask you, please, if you can, there are clickable links below this video to PayPal, to GoFundMe, to Patreon. You can go to moxnews.com if you can't see the clickable links. I love doing this. I only ask for help so that I can continue to do this, to fight the good fight for all of us. Okay? Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you find something of value here. I truly do. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Stay cool. One of these days, this war is going to end. Till that day.